Who would have thought that my most popular video over the last couple months was about the Amazon writing sample? When I went about investigating how all of the other YouTubers that are on YouTube that hold themselves out as Amazon experts talked about the writing sample, I was, well, quite frankly, a bit surprised that no one had offered up the idea that I offered up as to how to approach the writing sample. Also surprising to me were the number of people who reached out to me asking me for this document, the FAQ outline. Where is it? Can they get it? So the document does exist. People reach out all the time, and I applaud them for their extra efforts, whether it's through email or WhatsApp. And for those people, I really want to help. I really do. And it's all part of a clever marketing funnel to get you into the top and spend my time answering emails about where this document is and sending it off to you. But hey, I've helped a lot of people, and it feels really, really good. If you're getting value, tell the algorithm. Just click the like button. I'd love it. Click subscribe. I'd be super excited about it. Unsurprisingly, I've also had a fair number of people reach out to me, and they send me their documents asking for help. And I will tell you, I keep seeing the same mistakes over and over again. So that's what we're going to cover. What are the top 3 things I'm seeing in these writing samples that are non-starters? Don't do these if you're going to be turning in an Amazon writing assessment. Number 1, this is a business document. People are writing this as it's just way too casual. The number 1 thing I see over and over again is forgetting possessive pronouns. So they'll write something along the lines of, we had a server problem and the server fell over, decided it was time to look at the logs, went through the logs, met with the team, right? All of these kind of action verbs without having a possessive pronoun attached to it. So I'm left as the reader going, well, who did this? We talk this way. It's normal to talk that way. And it's sometimes it's easy to pick up, but when you're talking, but when you're reading that, it's actually really hard to figure out what's going on, especially if you're someone outside of the organization. You're reading a document for the first time. You have no idea who anybody involved in any of this is, and you're trying to stitch together the narrative based on what's being given to you. That casual tone, it's really hard, really, really hard to read through. This is not a book report. It's not a book report. Stop treating it like it's a book report. What do I mean by that? Basically, when you write, and then this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened, and you've lost the reader, right? You've lost the reader. In my previous video, I talked about using the FAQ format to drive linearity in your storytelling, but most importantly is answering the questions that really, really, really matter when you're trying to convey what happened. When you take the book report kind of model of, and then this happened, and this happened, and this happened, and this happened, as the reader, I don't know what's important, but 2, you're not actually filling in the blanks for me. Why did that first thing happen? Why didn't you have telemetry involved to help you identify this before it became a problem? How did you become aware of this problem? Why was this deemed to be a problem? How did you prioritize the work to deal with that problem? But before you even get on to the second, and then this happened, right? So when you're writing out a book report, and a bad one at that, when you kind of do that, and then, you're not filling in the gaps with sufficient detail that to me as the reader, I look at and go, okay, I understand what happened here, right? Because that's ultimately what has to happen when I read the document as a reader. If I'm an Amazon employee reading this document, I need to be able to read it and understand what happened, why you made the decisions you made, and then assess whether or not they were the right decisions. I don't need to be an expert in your job to assess whether or not you made the right decisions if you present the right information to me. But when you occlude the story with just stuff, right? And then, right? I don't know what's important. And worse, you probably left out a lot of information that would have been really helpful to me as the reader. It's there likely in your head, because in many of these cases, when I talk to the people about it, it's there. They just assume, well, wouldn't that person, whoever's reading this, wouldn't they know this? No, they don't. They don't know it because they don't have your shared experience. They didn't live this. You did. And so when you're writing about it, it's clear in your mind, but it's not clear on paper. And that's the biggest takeaway. It has to be clear on paper, not just in your mind. Number 3, and this is really important. I still remember my 9th grade English class. Professor Holmes, he's passed on, but he legendary for all who had him. He taught me how to write. And as a 9th grader, pimple-faced 13-year-old, I was like, how important is this? It turns out super important, because what I see again and again is, tied to number 2, which is the book report kind of, and then, is trying to pack way too much stuff into a single paragraph. And it doesn't even make sense as to why it's all in one paragraph. Look, when you are writing a business document and you're trying to convey to me that you made good decisions and you understood what was going on around you, like each paragraph should have a thesis or kind of statement sentence, a clarification sentence if you need it, supporting sentences to kind of make clear what was going on, what happened, and then finally a conclusion sentence, which is, here, so, and then of course this was true, right? That kind of thing. That's good writing. Again and again, I'm not seeing this. And there have been documents I've looked at where I literally get to the middle of the second page, and there's a 2-page max. I get to the middle of the second page, I don't even know what question they're answering. Are they talking about the most innovative thing that they've ever done? Or are they talking about the time they made a judgment call when they didn't have enough data? I don't know. I have no idea. If you're not clear as you're laying out your arguments and everything that happened and why you made decisions, you're not demonstrating that, one, you can communicate in a business environment, but two, you're not communicating that you have repeatable business frameworks for making decisions, good decisions, and getting to the right answers on a repeated basis. And that's really important. And it's surprising to me how poor the structure is. And this all kind of ties together because it is too casual tone and there's not possessive pronouns and people are kind of writing the way they talk and they're doing the book report. But all of this boils down to, do you have good linear structure? And that's why I'm thinking so many people found the first video so popular, which is, look, it's STAR format. It's real simple: situation, task, action, result. Use the FAQ format, the questions, to lay out, these are the things that matter. Who was the customer that was impacted? Tell me who the customer was. How big a customer was it? Right? If it's a major customer, well, it's represented 15% of our revenues. That's an important fact. You'd be surprised how many people will just talk about, well, then I had this customer problem and it was a big deal. Well, how was it a big deal? I don't know that it was a big deal. I'm the reader of the document. I have no idea how it was a big deal. Why was it a big deal? Was it a big deal because it was a big customer? Was it a big deal because it impacted their business? Was it a big deal because I don't know? So you have to use good structure in your paragraphs, paragraph after paragraph, to walk me, the reader, through a linear narrative so that I understand what happened. Because otherwise, I'm left at the end of the document going, I don't know, this is just bad writing. And it's just not going to work. And Amazon is a document culture. If you can't write, you're not going to survive there. Bonus tip. In the last one, I talked about how you have to use good paragraph structure to kind of lay out your ideas. Do not confuse what this is. It is a business document meant to convey that you have the ability to communicate in a business setting. What it is not, what it absolutely is not, is an essay contest or a novelization of some work event, right? If you're writing narrative that involves, literally quoting the words out of someone's mouth and referring to them by their names and kind of telling your story that way, it is no longer a business document. You're writing a book, you're writing a novel, you're writing a short story. That's not what this is. This is a document that is a business document meant to lay out what happened, why was it important, what did you do, and what can we all learn from it. That's it. Do that, and you've written a good document. Do that not at your own peril.